My name is Caleb, and I am a repair technician at Military Ops Airsoft in Michigan, and this is a review of the Classic Army Sportline M15A4 Carbine. First, I am going to show you all the metal parts that are in this gun. First, we have the two knobs on your carrying handle, your rear sight, your charging handle, your selector switch, your trigger, the delta ring, the swivel for your sling, and the buffer tube for your stock. On the other side, you have your dust cover, which works with your charging handle, as well as your mag release. Also, the barrel in this gun is a 3-piece metal barrel. The nice features of the Classic Army Sportline is the disassembly. Once you remove the two pins here in the rear and the front, the disassembly is very simple. Simply push forward on your upper receiver and lift up. As you can see, there are no body tabs, but there are some teeth in the rear receiver that lock into your upper receiver for very simple, unbreakable tabs. So there's no way for it to break and have an issue of a barrel wobble like you would with a Marui, say. To reassemble it, you simply pull back on your charging handle and slide it back into place. Some of the things that you will want to notice are the trademarks. The trademarks are there, though they are hard to see because they are imprinted in onto it. A little bit of a white crayon rubbed into that and wiped off by a sock or a white t-shirt will bring those out very well. It's a little trick that I've learned. Some of the negative parts of this gun, however, are the metal parts. They are metal, however they look as if they may be used or whatnot. Most specifically, you're going to find this on your dust cover. You see that it has some blemishes on it, and it looks as if it's sat in a warehouse or if it might have been used before. You're going to find that type of wear on your dust cover, your rear sight, on both of the metal knobs for your carrying handle. It's also going to be found on your mag release and your selector switch. The only metal parts of your gun that do not have any of that wear on them are your delta ring, your buffer tube in the rear, and your trigger. All in all, it's a very nice gun. It's very sturdy. It has little to no flex whatsoever in the body because of how tight your ABS body is around your gearbox. The 3-piece barrel does not wobble. There is no wobble in it. In order to disassemble your Sportline, you're only going to need a very small amount of tools, not very many at all. You're going to need yourself a Phillips head screwdriver. You're going to need yourself a jeweler's screwdriver or a punch in order to punch your body pins out, as well as the pin that holds the gearbox into your body. You're going to need an Allen wrench set. You're going to need both a 2mm and a 1.3mm Allen wrench in order to open up your gun. Without those, you will not be able to open it up. And then you're going to also need your hammer in order to hit out your body pins, because the body pins on this are very, very snug. They're not going to fall out like you're going to have in your typical Marui or an Echo 1. It's a very nice feature. Now, just as a warning to all, I do not suggest taking apart your gearbox unless you have a lot of knowledge of it. You have potential to ruin the shimming job that they have done in there, as well as put the piston back in improperly. There's a lot of things that you can do incorrectly to a gearbox to ruin it, so I do not suggest opening it unless you have prior knowledge or if you take it to a professional. And let's open up the gearbox and give you guys a peek inside. You have a plastic spring guide, a polycarbonate piston, and a polycarb piston head that is 4-ported. You have all your gears. They each have stamps on them. The first says Classic Army, same as the second. And the third gear is stamped with CA SL on it, standing for Classic Army Sportline. This leads us to believe that these are not the actual Classic Army gears, so they are a knockoff, China brand that they have bought and stamped for themselves. They have the metal trigger, once again, and then their tappet plate is a new design which prevents double feeding. It is a new half moon type of shape. It's a little different from the other ones that you've seen, but it does prevent the double feeding that you're going to find in most Maruis and actually any other clone of the Marui. It's a very nice feature. And that pretty much wraps up the internals. You do have the blue aluminum cylinder, which is nice. Very precision machined. And a silent damper cylinder head. But nothing really out of the ordinary here other than their gears and the new tappet plate. Two other new things that we have in the Classic Army Sportline is the motor and the barrel, as well as the hop-up. The hop-up, instead of being the classic metal one that it is now an ABS plastic, but it is of nice quality, and it is a replica of the metal one that you were going to find in your standard Classic Armies. You have a machined aluminum blue barrel that actually has a very nice crown on the tip and seems to be very precise. It's a 6.08 millimeter inner barrel. And you have your motor, which is a high torque, high performance motor. It's a little different than your standard Classic Army motor. It's not as powerful, it doesn't have the same rate of fire, so it's a little less, but it's still a very nice performance that you're going to get out of it, especially with a 9.6 volt battery. One of the nice things that you're going to see about the Sportline is that the magazine, which is a standard Classic Army magazine, it is not a knockoff, it is the normal one that they use, has pretty much no wiggle in your magwell whatsoever. It's a very nice fit. You have your full size grip in the front, which allows you to fit most batteries into. Any nunchuck or crane stock battery is going to fit into this. For sake of testing it, I'm going to use a very large 9.6 volt battery, a 3300 mAh. I'm going to let you guys hear what this sounds like. A little bit of on full auto for the rate of fire that it has. You can see it has a little bit of recoil to it. It's got a nice rate of fire. You really can't go wrong with it. Something to note on semi is that when I even attempt to half pull it back, it still fires one round off. It does not wind the motor back halfway and stop like it will on most guns. So that is a nice change that they have done with this weapon. And the safety does work properly. So all in all, it's a very nice gun. I will now take it out and do some chrono tests and then take it out for a field accuracy test.